Well, this is Steve, N4LQ, and I was bored today and thought I'd try something. So I built a Cootie key, otherwise known as a Swideswiper. The key is ancient. It goes back to the telegraph days, and most of them in the past were made by hand. There were a few commercial brands. One of them was the famous Bunnell company that made a version of this. And if you've got one, hang on to it because they're a nice thing to have around. But most of them were made using hacksaw blades. And so that's what I did here. Now, this is a regular half-inch hacksaw blade, pretty well cut in half. And I think I made it about 5.5 inches long, something like that. If I had it to do over again, I'd probably make it a bit shorter. But I've got a bench grinder, and I just ground the teeth off for no good reason. And then I took some sandpaper and cleaned off the paint, gave it a nice shine. I went to Lowe's actually, and bought a couple of packs of 1-inch angles you can find in their hardware department, and these are sheet metal screws that I used. And this thing here is a piece of tile, or a sample actually, that came out of my junk box. I had used it before for something else. You can find all kinds of this stuff in the tile department at Lowe's or Home Depot, and this is not real marble, it's some kind of synthetic stuff, so it's made out of resin and it drills like wood and it won't split or crack, and you can use wood screws or sheet metal screws in it. It's really great for key bases. So as you can see, it's pretty obvious how I made it. I just screwed these down. These two here are connected together with this little piece of wire, and so either way you go, it closes your key. So it is like a double straight key. As a matter of fact, they even called them double speed keys at one point in time. But Cootie key is a pretty nice term. The end of the spring here, I put my fingertip piece invention. This is a pair of furniture leg pads. Those fuzzy felt things you buy. You peel the paper off the back, stick them on your into your leg, so they'll slide on your wooden floor without scratching it. Well, you just put them back to back, stick them on the end of the hacksaw blade. It actually looks like something they used to make, except it's got a good grip to it. It's lightweight and it's soft. Oh, it just feels so good. So anyway, to use these things, the experts say you're supposed to learn by pushing to the right at all times. So your first part of whatever you do, you push to the right. I don't know why that is. Seems to me like pushing to the left would accomplish the same thing, but as long as it comes out sounding good, it doesn't matter. The important thing to learn is to make your dots sound like dots and not run together. And one way they say to avoid that is to have plenty of spacing, plenty of gap here, so that it forces you to take some time to get from one side to the other. So I can make some pretty fast dots, but if I try to go too fast, it can sound like a blur. So you have to concentrate on doing that. It's fun to use, and it's like using a straight key, only it's much easier and faster once you learn it. And I haven't done so yet, but I'm going to practice until I do. Well, I thought this was a little soft, and maybe a little shorter would have been better. But then I dug through the old junk box and found what's known as a stair gauge, And stair gauge is a thing that you put over a square when doing carpentry work, making stairs. And you need 2 of them. And once you get these set, you can cut your treads very quickly with it. Well, anyway, you don't cut your treads with it, you mark your treads with it. These are handy. They also make good bug weights, by the way. Just drop it right over the, there's a bug right there, you can just drop it right over the arm and tighten it up, and it's a lot heavier than what you normally see on a bug. It'll slow it down. Let's see, there you are. $5 for 2 of them, Home Depot. Can't beat that. I saw some guy trying to sell these as actually bug weights on eBay for a huge amount of money. So anyway, I just dropped this over right there, and what that does effectively is shorten my spring up. It's got a much better feel to it now, I think. And you can actually slide this a little farther. The farther you go, it gets stiffer, except when you get to the center point, it starts going the other way, and when you get down here, you end up with a bug. So you don't want to do that. Well, that's kind of a neat way to stiffen up the old Cootie key. So there you go. 1 wire between these 2 posts, 1 to ground, and hook it to your rig. Start making some code. Thanks for watching.